me.
Much danger field.
Because he is.
I had it on earlier.
Yeah.
To delete
Yeah.
the
So I was running it close. It has plenty of power, but it might have noticed that. It said, oh, it has probably power save on it. I need to get that. Just to kind of test the waves.
I still
Because
think
that one
about
didn't
it
make it
all
through
the
the
time.
whole thing. The last time because it was on the phone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't tell.
Kind of something like kill children.
A terrible one.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh no, that's all.
Well, the record's 2 minutes. We'll call tonight's meeting of the Floyd City Council to order. Mandy, would you take a roll call, please?
Raymond Ponzo,
Present.
Lloyd Luttrell,
Present.
Kent Miller,
Present.
Lee McMillan,
Here.
Tony Dingler,
Yes.
Andrew Graybon,
Present.
Matt Audie.
Here.
Thank you. If you'd stand with me for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to gather this evening and conducting the business of our community. Give us the wisdom and the knowledge that we need to make the proper decisions to keep moving our city forward. Be with our community with the blessings that you continue to give us, and they are bountiful. Be with our youth as they're competing, represented our community around the state. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to recognize our Boy Scout members and our leaders out here in the crowd this evening. We welcome you and thank you for coming and observing us conducting the business of your community. So, thank you. Andrew, do you have anything?
I'm just real proud to see the process that's going on Main Street right now, moving forward good. And from what I've heard, neighbors who've been talked to or talking to the people, it seems to be working well for them so far. So.
Good, that's nice. Tony?
I don't have no complaints about it, they're doing good by me, so.
Keep an eye on it.
Well, they're getting close now.
I have nothing right now, Mayor.
Lee?
Nothing.
Matt?
I'd just like to say with flu season in full spring, everybody needs to remember to wash their hands. You're gonna get sick like I am.
Well, thanks for coming.
So glad you
bringing it
came.
on.
Oh, yeah.
There's space over here.
Should have rolled Lysol.
I'll try not to breathe.
Kent, you can move this way. Lloyd?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Katie, do you have anything?
Just a couple things. And I'm finally over my sickness that I've had for weeks and weeks. I just want to encourage you all. I don't know how much everybody's been watching the legislative session, but it wouldn't hurt to drop a note to Susan and Senator Bowers and just encourage them to keep the city in mind. And a good rule of thumb is whatever the League of Kansas Municipalities is recommending, that's what's probably best for our city. There is in particular right now a House bill that I actually submitted some written testimony on behalf of the city, that the hearing was yesterday. But essentially what it could do is undo some of what we did just last week. They're tweaking the election ordinance again. And the part I'm most concerned about is the filling of vacancies. There's a consideration there of making that requirement of a special election required for all cities. Right now, we're able to charter out of that because it's different for different cities. But the league has a proposed amendment to that we hope will be considered. There is some cleanup that needs to be done. So the bill does need to go through, but we just need to make it so it's not uniform for all cities. That way we can use that charter ordinance that we just finished. So I went ahead and did that. There's also an abandoned property bill, which would be helpful for the city. It's a Senate bill right now. So if you have time, just drop an email and or give them a phone call and just let them know, maybe to encourage them to follow what the league is suggesting as far as really any legislation, because the league sort of has our backs, and it's good to go with what they're suggesting. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Jason, you have anything?
About the only thing I have up front here is, as you see on the table, we have the Tree City USA. We've talked about that over maybe a few times the last few months that we were consideration for, but we did end up being chosen as the host, and so this is the schedule for that. It'll be here, the First Christian Church is going to be kind of the place where they're going to host it at, and there'll be tours throughout the town. Should be about 100 to 150 people participate that, kind of from all over Kansas, and it covers 2 days, so it's a nice positive thing for our community, and it's also our 40th year of being a Tree City USA, so it coincides really nicely. The special speaker is Stan Denike's brother. I can't remember his name right offhand, but he's kind of one of the, Fred Denike, sorry. He's coming in from Arizona, I believe, or whatever, and Kent probably knows more than I do on that, but as far as, I think he's kind of one of the forefathers or whatever of the whole Tree City and some of those things. So, and it's kind of cool to have him and have him come here, so hopefully it'll be a pretty good crowd that shows up.
Originally from here.
And he's originally from here, yep, so it's kind of neat. We had to kind of work him pretty hard to get him to show up to speak, but everybody's pretty excited about it. There should be a lot of cool historical things he's going to share about it. We've already seen a few pieces that he's going to be using, so it should be pretty interesting. Obviously, everybody's welcome to attend. I think the cost is, I believe, about $25 a ticket, and that helps cover the food, etc. So, and that's all I've got for now. Unless anybody has anything, and we'll talk about more later.
If you have anything to report for Dave?
Oh, for sure. Nope, they're just really busy right now, doing some great work. So I think that's what they're off doing tonight. So they're doing a great job. Unless I have anything for him that I need to relay to him, I guess. I don't know if anybody has anything from my report that you want to talk about or highlight. We don't really have much for work session this time, so maybe we can touch it now. I don't really have many updates right now on that.
Okay, well, thank you. Community Development Report. Heather, do you have anything?
I don't have anything tonight. I'm helping a little bit with Tree City, so it's good. It'd be nice to have people in town, and there will be invitations that come out to the council if you guys would like to attend. You can attend as the guest. And then today during our meeting, we did talk about having registrations available here at the city office, so people would have somewhere to run it, because they've been really good about putting it in the media. And it'll be an interesting event, so if people want to join, it'll be a nice event.
Okay,
Is that it?
thank you.
Uh-huh.
We have no public comments this morning, or this evening, no public hearings. We'll go to the consent agenda. If there's no questions for staff, I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda in its entirety.
I just have,
He had questions.
I don't have a question, I just have a comment that on the second page of the minutes from the last meeting, the purchase of the Dodge Ram is a one ton instead of an on ton,
It's right on the ton.
on the ton.
Yep, no, thanks.
I had a motion from Councilman Ponce and a second by Councilman Latrell that we approve the consent agenda in its entirety. Is there any discussion? No discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Next item on the agenda this evening is ordinance 2204, changing zoning classifications on the north campus. Is there any questions for staff or legal counsel?
This has obviously been to we talked about it initially, and this has been to the planning commission. So they've reviewed it, made some of those recommendations. I think I included the map in here, yeah. Basically, it's gonna bump up the lots behind the roadside park. Those were, after once again further, research, yeah. So basically the map superseded everything. So we kind of were some confusion whether it was commercial or R2. It ends up that it was actually R2.
Mm-hmm.
So not really necessarily super relevant, because here's what the commission has held the hearing on and approved. The blue then used to be mixed-use residential, and that's moved to,
Well, 3 and 4 were.
oh, sure,
And
yeah, that's
then
right.
5, 7, and 8 were R1.
Yeah.
So,
So we moved all those to R2. I did talk to all the property owners in there, kind of get a uniform. They were all really excited. I don't think we have anybody here with it. We didn't have anybody at planning commission, so I think they were pretty pro what was gonna happen, you know, understanding how that was gonna protect their property, et cetera, when they do build or they already have built like the Rexroads have. So, so if there's any questions about what R3 and R2 mean or anything, yeah, Matt?
I have a question about the roadside park. It's up there zoned as commercial, and when you're zoned as commercial, you can still be a city park when you're zoned commercial.
well,
I don't
it's
think
actually,
that's, yeah.
yeah, it's actually not. When we did the new zoning regulation and new zoning map, that got pulled into R2 along with some stuff north of there. So it's actually R2. But it was commercial when we first did the ordinance, and then when we did that zoning map, it got changed.
Okay.
So it is appropriate to be a park in R2, so.
And it's staying that way with the ordinance.
Yeah, we're not touching that.
Yeah.
I move we approve ordinance 2205 as written.
Motion's been made by Councilman Graybon that we approve ordinance 2204, changing zoning classification. A second by Councilman Audi. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is ordinance 2205, prohibiting the operation of all-terrain vehicles on private property. And this one I have a question on.
Yep.
So, if you like drive into your yard and then pull over into your grass
Yep,
and spread around, is that operating?
We're gonna nab you. I was kidding, yeah.
Because that's supposed to be an ask.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, basically, I'll give you a little bit of the background and then kind of where the thought process is. We've had, since I've been here, a couple times where people have called in complaints, and then talking to Dave Elam too, for people, you know, using their yard as a racetrack. You know, they're running around it a lot of times, and so we didn't really have any sort of code or way to enforce that. Obviously, if they're on the street and they're not legal, then the police officer can deal with it. You know, the noise ordinance is kind of subjective, so it was kind of tough to use them on that. So we just kind of copied some generic language from another community, and actually Andrew and I, you know, emailed back and forth with some of the same concerns, Tom, as far as, you know, that was kind of the intention. It wasn't really to say, hey, you can't, you know, move your quad, or you can't, you know, put it on the trailer or do basic maintenance. So on the table, I kind of put a further updated, and obviously we can massage it further. We don't have to adopt it today, you know, or anything. It was basically talking about, you know, for loading and unloading, basic maintenance, that kind of thing. And again, it's going to be something that we're really, it's more one of those type of reactive type ordinances. You know, it's not like we're going to be out there proactively policing that, you know, you drove your quad too many times around your house. But and then Andrew had a further suggestion, maybe for business purposes also, to kind of put that as an exclusion. So that's kind of some of the modifications based on that feedback. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but.
Yeah, 'cause, well, there's some people, you know, the southeast part down there's some big. lots,
Correct.
And of course,
Yep.
I don't know if there's 3 acres there or not, but, you know, I know they use that, they drive around in their yard
Sure.
to pick up
Yeah.
tree branches, to pick
Yeah.
up tree trees.
Yes.
And those aren't the people we're getting complaints about.
Or if I'm wanting to spray my yard, want my little spot sprayer on the back of my
Correct.
ATV.
Yep,
Now I'm gonna pass.
Sure.
I'm-
yeah, and again, hopefully understand the intention of it, and that's kind of where, you know, again, feedback is more than welcome, because obviously it can be a problem on the negative side too. So it's kind of hard to write one of these to combat that, but also let people still, yeah, because that, I didn't even think about that part of it.
Well, and that's fine, I
Yeah.
just, you know, I know Raymond has some people to talk to him, and I had,
Yep.
you know, but, it's just.
Could you just do it like an age restriction?
Yeah, I don't think so, because I mean, again, you could, but I guess without Dave here and Doug, I don't know if there's people, it seems like my memory serves, there's one individual I can think of that's probably past what you put for an age
Because
restriction.
I seen one of those, they weren't young kids
Yeah,
that were doing it. And
Yeah.
so
so Lloyd,
boy,
In this, what's the actual definition of an off-road or?
The one that's in our code already, which is, of course, your ATV,
I have it up if you
your,
want to see it.
your work site utility vehicle, yeah, would you mind?
Sure. All terrain vehicle is defined as any motorized no highway vehicle 48 inches or less in width having a dry weight of 850 pounds or less, traveling on 3 or more low-pressure tires, having a seat designed to be straddled by the operator. Low-pressure tires mean any pneumatic tires 6 inches or more in width, designed for use on wheels with a rim diameter of 12 inches or less and utilizing an operator pressure of 10 pounds per square inch or less and recommended by the vehicle manufacturer.
Well, yeah, that's not actually the one in our code, but
Well, that's what was on the website.
Our website?
This is from the Beloit Code website that's online.
from this chapter, 16302.
16301. This is what it ties
Jeez, I
to.
don't remember all
And
that.
then off-road vehicles shall include.
You wrote it.
The off-road vehicles shall include but are not limited to 3- and 4-wheel all-terrain vehicles, go-karts, dune buggies, midget vehicles, golf carts, motorized bicycles, and other motorized vehicles not required by law to have a license plate. This article shall not pertain to farm tractors or farm implements when used for agricultural purposes, nor shall it pertain to all-terrain vehicles when being used for legitimate agricultural purposes. This article shall also not pertain to lawn mowers if being used for legitimate lawn mowing purposes, nor shall it pertain to motorized vehicles being used for transportation due to physical disabilities.
Andrew, you might
That's
want to slow down,
Oh.
just trying to do all that.
Yeah.
You can just go on the website. but- And then it also says,
I know.
nor shall it pertain to off-road vehicles for parades or other official city events. In addition, exceptions may be made by obtaining special permit uses from the chief of police for other public events or activities.
We did this